Victoria Chames, who's going to speak next, had another very interesting experience in as much as she was in the volunteer emergency services. And one, still today we don't associate women necessarily as members of our emergency services crew, but Victoria was one. So I'm glad she was able to come because her story is particularly interesting from many points of view, but we hardly ever get to hear from the people who actually
Could Janice Latham please come to the information desk, please? Janice Latham please come to the information desk on the main floor. Thank you.
We hardly ever get to hear from the people who are actually involved in the logistics and in the actual human service aspect of these kind of things. So anyway, Victoria, do you want to use the microphone or not?
Well, tell me if I'm not loud enough. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me now? Hi, I'm Victoria Chames. I was, at the time it happened, I was a volunteer firefighter with Alameda County OES Fire Department with our fire stations out in San Leandro and Pleasanton.
Victoria, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Not loud enough? Oh, this feels so official. Can you hear me? Okay. When it happened, I was a volunteer firefighter with Alameda County OES Fire Department with our main stations out in San Leandro and Pleasanton. This is a little thing that I sent, I believe, to the Northern California Women Firefighters newsletter. And then when the request came out for stories, I just went ahead and said this. So this is kind of geared for firefighters, but I think it's going to be pretty obvious. Here goes. When the quake hit, I was at home in Berkeley. I turned on the radio and TV. There was nothing, all but one channel blitzed out. I phoned OES Command Headquarters, but couldn't get through. I called 2 senior officers and got only answering machines. Our standing orders in such a circumstance are to go to Station 1 in San Leandro and stage there. Stage means to meet with the officers, decide what to do before everybody just runs out and does stuff. To stage there. I wondered how long it would take to get there in rush hour and post-quake traffic. I went outside to check on the neighborhood first to see if anyone was hurt. No one was. I could see from my driveway a large column of black smoke in downtown Berkeley. It seemed to be the Shattuck Hotel, a residence hotel of mostly elderly patrons. OES is by charter a disaster agency. Most of the time we serve as an all-volunteer mutual aid fire department. Most of our calls are in South and Southeast County, but we can be called out into any part of Alameda County and the adjoining counties of Santa Clara and Contra Costa. The traffic was already backing up. I knew it would take a long time, maybe even hours, to get to San Leandro. I decided to go at once to the downtown fire. It was only 8 blocks away, but without benefit of lights or sirens in my private car, it took me more than 15 minutes to get there, inching along packed streets full of panicked people trying to get home. I reported to the incident commander, that's the guy with the white hat, and identified myself and my department and said I would be glad to help in whatever way I could. I was turned over to Engine 5, and we worked the fire until about 11:30 p.m. along with Engine 7, Engine 3, and Truck 2. The fire apparently started when a transformer on a power pole outside was blown out by the earthquake. That caused a surge, an electrical surge, which blew out an electrical panel in Husted's Auto Repair and Towing, which was next door to the hotel, but did not involve the hotel. The resulting fire caused the explosion of several 50-gallon drums of paint thinner. A few acetylene tanks also blew, creating a fast, hot fire. Also oxygen tanks, which makes the fire faster and hotter. The heat caused the truss roof of the building that the auto repair was in, a huge open space caused the roof to collapse very quickly and almost in one piece on top of about 30 cars and trucks, serving like a lid on a skillet to hold the heat and fire inside. The cars were burning real good with all that spilled paint thinner, and we couldn't get much water on most of them because the roof was protecting the fire from above, yet plenty of air could still get in from below. We had to try to shoot streams of water up under the edges, through cracks, holes, whatever we could. The fire was controlled, but it kept burning till it burned itself out. The cars were a total loss. Only one was gotten out because of the explosions and because the roof went so quickly. What was left of the roof was an ocean of melted tar. When it was finally out, we picked up our hose and went back to Station 5. After we reloaded hose and put the engine back in service, it was close to midnight when we went inside to eat dinner. The TV was on, and that was the first we knew about the Cypress collapse and the Bay Bridge. No wonder traffic was backed up even in Berkeley. A week later, at our monthly planning meeting, I heard the stories from the other OES firefighters. Most of them made it to Station 1 coming from the south end. Then they went to the Cypress collapse with 2 engines and a patrol and rescued one man from his car, though that didn't make the news. They risked their personal safety on the structure, which was not shored up yet or protected in any way, and they worked into the night searching the cars for survivors. I never heard OES fire get mentioned in the news, and I really appreciated the fact that it did get mentioned by the California Women Firefighters Association article. The Berkeley fire got only a 2-second film clip of the smoke on TV and one sentence that there had been a major fire in Berkeley. It was nothing compared to the other incidents and loss. But I didn't stay up for all the news because I had to get up at 5 a.m. to go to work at the hospital. I wasn't scheduled, but I knew I would probably be called in. I live 2 lives. I wear 2 uniforms, one blue, one white. I was working, as I still am, in Alta Bates Medical Center's emergency room. Sometimes it gets very discouraging. I can't imagine my life without fire service, but unless I can get hired by a paid department, I have to work 2 jobs for the sake of one. If you ever think that volunteer fire service is a hobby, think again. For most of us, it's a lot more than that.